We're live.
Okay.
How you doing, everybody? This is American Supply Association's Mike Miazga, and we're here with another edition of our ASA COVID-19 Town Hall meetings. I am joined today by ASA President Bill Glockner from Hirsch Pipe and Supply out in Southern California. How you doing today, Bill?
Doing great.
Mailman must be present at my house right now. I apologize for the dogs barking in the background.
That's the benefit of these Zoom calls that we're all doing. You never know when to show up.
She gets a hero's welcome 6 days a week. So today, wanted to bring you on, Bill, president of ASA. ASA's had a lot of stuff going on here throughout the last couple of months since the pandemic started, and wanted to talk to you for two reasons. Number one, you're a boots on the ground distributor out there in Southern California who's walking the walk, talking the talk in some tough times, and also just to get your perspective as our 2020 president. For starters, we've since the town halls, or excuse me, since the pandemic started, we've introduced these town hall interview sessions where I've talked to ASA members, whether it be distributors, manufacturers, reps, and we did one 10 days ago with the manufacturers that was well received, just to get their perspective, how they're responding to business conditions in the pandemic, and their just their day-to-day real-time dealings with how they're managing their businesses. And I'm curious to know your thoughts. What were your biggest takeaways? You're number 10, town hall number 10. So what are your takeaways on the previous 9 that you watched?
Well, thanks, Mike. I first of all, I think it's been wonderful that ASA has offered this series of town halls. And I think it just shows how, even though we can't get together in person, there's still a lot of ways that ASA can offer tremendous value to its membership. I think the first thing I learned from the town halls is we have some really smart people in this association. And I think Mike, Elizzy and I, we get together weekly for a phone call. And we talk about how lucky we are to sort of be in the foxhole with this group. If you're going to go through a pandemic, this is the group you want to go through. I think also what I got out of the town hall was how much the association really focused on the people side first. And so many of the conversations really were about safety and how to put in place safety protocols. And I know that especially in the beginning, we were all trying to understand how to respond. I remember being on a town hall with Bill Condren and Steve Edwards, and I was taking mental notes during the session on some of their ideas about returns and dealing with an actual positive case. So I think it's just wonderful to have access to these type of minds, these types of experiences during this situation. And I think we saw that in pretty much all of them. I loved the one with Jay and John and Joe Paling, a lot of ideas on how to respond to changes. And as we went through, we sort of got deeper into some of the details and some of the nuts and bolts of things that were going on. And so each one offered a little bit more operational detail. And then, lastly, I'll say, one of my industry heroes actually is Rick Thantham, former ASA president of CEO of Hajoca. Yes, and I think just hearing his town hall alone would be worth my ASA dues. But he just discussed how important it is for leaders to be thoughtful, deliberate, and responsive. And I think that's really important in this time. And also his 4 R's of resilience, readiness, recalibration, and recovery. So I think it's that kind of thought-provoking content that helps you do a better job in our company and make all the members better. And I think it's great that people are willing to share.
You can get all those previous town halls if you go to our YouTube channel, hit youtube.com and punch in American Supply Association on the search bar. You'll see all those, including Bill's first appearance. It was our first one that we did, actually. And then, of course, the popular Rick Thantham one as well. Another real gem that we've come across here during the COVID-19 situation is our interaction with our chief economist, Dr. Chris Keel, who has done now 5 economic impact update webinars that we're setting all sorts of records here as far as attendance on a webinar, people actually participating live in the webinar, and the feedback that we're getting from ASA members on the just how important those webinars, how useful they are, has just been off the charts. Some real heavy hitters in the association leadership have reached out to us and just raved about Dr. Keel and what he's been able to offer. And we've actually even sent out a survey now asking members would they like to see Dr. Keel, once a month, every other month going forward, or even as we progress into the recovery stages here of coming out of the pandemic. What you've listened to all of them, Bill. What struck you as key takeaways from Dr. Keel's presentations?
Well, here again, I think it's great that ASA has found a way to deliver even more benefit during this period than maybe we were before. And I love Chris Keel's sense of humor and his presenting style. Even though I'm not sure if we got a point of certainty during these talks, I think he highlights a lot of the important trade-offs between like medical containment policies and the impact of the economy, and the importance about thinking about the long-term impact on your brand with how your company responds and behaves during the recession. I'm still not sure whether we're headed for a U or a W or a swoosh, but I certainly enjoy having Chris along for the ride. And I also think that it highlights how he talks about the different regions of the country and how different states were affected. And so it's, as an association, even though we all went through this together, some of our experiences were different. And there were different levels of exposure and shutdown by region. And again, I think that's one of those insights that only comes about by being part of the National Association. And it's helpful to understand different people's perspectives.
So when you were on the first time with Steve Edwards from Wind Supply and Bill Condren from the Granite Group, how would you say the Southern California region out there, how have things changed from a business climate perspective? What are the biggest differences you've seen?
Well, as time has gone on, people have really adapted to the requirements of wearing a mask and social distancing and proper hygiene. And I think the region is really fighting to sort of get back to a more normal level. We're slowly seeing our sales climb back week by week. So we're hoping that we're to get through this thing okay. It seems like everyone out here either wants to get out of their house as the weather gets warmer, or they want to be able to entertain their families and friends again on a limited basis. And these stay-at-home orders are going to be a struggle to keep in place much longer. We're already seeing people sort of push the edges. So I think we're going to see, as Chris was talking about, more and more opening and relaxing of the requirements out here. I do think we're going to see masks and PPE for the balance of the year and maybe longer, and probably a lot more contactless processes and digital innovation. That's probably what's a permanent result of the pandemic.
You look back over the last couple of months, yes, you have to do certain things to navigate your business through, what certainly will probably turn out to be a once in a lifetime deal for the majority of us. But looking forward, we're at ASA now, we're shifting our focus more from the just the COVID-19 in the throes of it to the recovery and the next phase of getting out of it, coming out of it stronger. What has everything taught you in these last couple of months as an owner of a multi-location distributorship in one of the most prominent parts of the country?
Well, I think we all realized how important the work we had done on culture and training before the pandemic were to how we were able to deal with this crisis. And I could say that I certainly feel good about the work Hirsch did, put a lot of emphasis on teamwork with our managers, and our managers were really prepared to handle the chaos this crisis introduced because of that work that was done before the pandemic. And then during the pandemic, We've tried to push that teamwork even further down into the organization to try and get more of our frontline people, our salespeople, our warehouse people involved in solving the problems of safety and how to get customers in and out quickly. And I think getting more depth of involvement is going to be a big benefit for this organization moving forward. And I think for most organizations, I think across America, all organizations, people had to sort of help and rely on each other. And I think that we're going to build on that spirit as we come out of this pandemic.
You see this as a asking, like I ask everybody every week, do you see putting your prognosticator hat on, do you see this as a quick recovery in between, or you think we're looking at a more protracted return to normal?
Well, I think it's going to be a protracted return to normal, but I'm hopeful that we could get a win here somewhere over the next 3 to 6 months in the course of antiviral treatments. I don't think that we should be waiting for a vaccine. We're not going to do that. But I'm hopeful that as we develop some better treatments, that people even are more aggressive with returning to normal. I think that there's a huge desire on the part of everyone to get back to normal as fast as it is safely possible.
Now you have you touched on a little bit more about diving deeper into organizations. You have a great, whatever you want to call it, slogan for your presidency, or catchphrase, but it's not a catchphrase. It's the real deal. Get in the game. And you're a big proponent of ASA membership, the member distributors, member manufacturers, reps, whoever's a member of ASA, get as many people as possible in your organization involved in ASA activities. Case in point, we just launched our Connect series of virtual meetings that take 9 different critical job functions in a company, whether it's marketing, outside sales, et cetera. And those folks, non-competitors, get together once a month. There's a facilitator, Jason Bader, and his partner from distribution team. They get there, those folks in that, whatever that job function is, and they talk about challenges and come up with solutions. And that's certainly getting more people involved in the game. Why? And to the same point, ASA University, we'd be remiss not to talk about their tremendous efforts during this time, whether it was the COVID-19 cases they made available or the courses they made available, and then now shifting more to a recovery focus on the education front, plus the vast amount of training courses that are always available. But back to the get in the game, why are you so passionate about those 4 simple but critical words?
Well, I just think there's tremendous value offered by the associations to help member companies and their employees enjoy their work more and do better at their job with the ideas and the training and the camaraderie. But it's like any class or self-improvement or exercise program or pretty much anything we do in life. You only get benefits if you actually put your own effort in. And so it's really sort of two messages are sort of built in this concept too. When I talk to people, one, get involved, find something at ASA. There's a tremendous offering. Now more than ever, you can go to that COVID resource site, see all the town halls, get involved in the Connect group. You don't have to even leave your house. So the offering is tremendous. And secondly, I think it's a message to the owners and principals of these distribution companies to help get it deeper into their organization. So I know one thing we did was we created a mailing list so that all of the ASA general mail goes to everyone in the company. And I had a number of people watch different town halls and then send me ideas that they got out of the conversation or implement ideas. And so it actually made my life a lot easier as the head of this organization to have more of my people involved in ASA. So I think there's a tremendous benefit both to the people in our companies because they will enjoy their job more and do a better job, and to the leaders of this company because it makes our work easier. So I would say get in the game.
Very well said. And I tremendously appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to talk. Always love chatting with you. And for all the latest ASA news and to check out more of the town halls, check out asa.net. And then the town hall is always available on our YouTube channel. And enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you.
Hang on a sec.